Thank you. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. After a very nice introduction by our colleague Elliot Sloan about what is and what is not the Hacking Coronavirus Initiative, repository, and project in general, I'm going to walk you through the how we deliver this great and valuable content to clinical engineering collaborators. So first of all, I want to be extra I want to make extra emphasis on the importance of what this great team is doing, because not only have we been battling with a pandemic, we're also in the midst of a misinformation war where I'm pretty sure that at the beginning of the pandemic, we had a lot of doubts and we had a lot of information flowing in, as Elliot just mentioned, and that creates much confusion. And of course, that creates a lot of bad decisions. We've heard before, can we or can we not connect two patients to more than one ventilator because there's a shortage of ventilators, XYZ, right? So what we intended to do is what Elliot just mentioned, and I'm not going to go further into that, is just to contribute on the clinical engineering side with selected content, curated content, being just double checked by experts on this side, and just filtering a little bit on what we could do on what is available on the web and being delivered to you. So our content experts, of course, Elliot Sloan, who just presented, but also involved is Tom Judd, Yadin David, Rosana Rivas, and Kali Roy as content experts who participated in evaluating this content, making sure that this content was relevant for clinical engineers, but also for other health technology related professionals. And on the, let's say, the marketing team or the digital platforms team, my colleague Irizia Peña was or is still, after more than 2 years, still the person behind the emailing campaigns that addresses and schedules the emailing campaigns with these valuable contents. Estefania Cajiras, which is the person behind all the graphic design that is being done so that this content can only be received, but that is also a little bit better received on the user experience side. And myself, that takes care of all the back-end design of this, and also that makes sure that all of the digital platform works as it is intended to be. And also trying to analyze the trends behind where the clicks are being clicked, and also the contents that are being consumed, et cetera, et cetera. So this is the general process behind the construction of the Hacking Coronavirus project. So each of us in their own times, of course, we did the individual web scouting for content that may or may not be relevant to clinical engineers. So we proposed this content in a WhatsApp group, or by email, or by multiple channels. So we, as let's say, the experts, propose the content by multiple channels, and then we generated a big repository of, let's say, candidate or proposed content. So this content gets assessed by the experts, which I just mentioned, and then that content gets, let's say, introduced into a funnel, and that funnel has multiple stages where that content gets discussed and gets filtered and gets selected. And the final content that gets selected gets scheduled into different campaigns that are scheduled for each of the weekdays from Monday through Friday. So each weekday, we send out an individual campaign, which is divided into 3 main categories. So we have the content that is related to the clinical engineers, or is mainly related to clinical engineering resources. We have the content that is related to the C-suite, or that the general directors or the C-suite of, let's say, a hospital might want to know. And we also have a special section where we invite all of you to send us, your clinical engineering stories, best practices, or even images of you in the forefront. So that's what we want to portray. And of course, it's very difficult to find clinical engineering specific content, but we do try our best, but we also need the community to help us just collect all of those and user stories about what we're doing out there and how are we helping our communities and also the hospitals. So when these campaigns get scheduled, they get sent out as well. And at the end of the day, these campaigns also get distributed on their social media. And these campaigns and the content within these campaigns get stored under the Global Clinical Engineering Alliance repository or website. So all of the individual citations, we have them stored under the Global CEA website. We have a special section for that in the website, and we update it on a weekly basis. Let me go to the next slide. So here are our three sections. So we have the clinical engineering at the forefront section, where we portray, it's just success stories, a small section to honor the clinical engineers that are on the forefront fighting the pandemic. And also, we try to also portray people that are in the front lines with pictures, with success stories, stuff that we find online in LinkedIn and in social media. And of course, we ask for permission to post all of this before we do. But we also invite all of you and all of your clinical engineering departments just to send us your pictures, your stories, because we want to get this out there, and we want to promote what clinical engineers are doing or have done during the pandemic. The CE resources, as I mentioned, are resources that are specifically designed for the health technology related professions or the clinical engineers. And at the end of the day, also the content repositories are very important, and the C-suite content related as well. These are the communication tools that we are using. So we use MailChimp for email marketing, and these are the social media channels that we use. So for example, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook to effectively distribute all of our channels. This is an image of the Hacking Coronavirus Project website within the Global CEA that you can all access as of today. It is open access, and it includes all of the links. We update it weekly, so you can also access this content for free within the Global CEA website as well. And these have been the results so far as of June 2022, when this was presented in the IUPESM World Congress. So since April 2020, we've generated over 540 issues, and we grew up our subscriber database up to more than 18,000 subscribers. So what that means is that more than 18,000 professionals subscribed to that emailing list because they wanted to receive that content related to what we were delivering, which is a huge, huge milestone considering that clinical engineers are fighting the pandemic. Also, as a conclusion, we need more clinical engineering resources, of course, because there is a limited amount of available time. We've been discussing in Congress is the need for more clinical engineering literature and a small amount of time that we as clinical engineers have to effectively write this content down. But we also need, this material and these experiences to be out there. So as a conclusion, we need to speak up as clinical engineers a little bit more because the communication channels work. And also, this is a case of success of a mix of clinical engineering and marketing, because at the end of the day, our study shows that our emailing open rate is 47%. A small fun fact in emailing in general and email marketing, a good emailing campaign open rate is around 30 to 32% open rate, and we are around 47%. So that is really great news because our audience is really interested and also expecting our content week by week. So at the end of the day, this project after 2 or more than 2 years is still relevant, and this content and this strategy and this project and team is proven to have been working in the right direction. As Elliot mentioned, there is multiple other projects that can be worked upon all of this. At the end of the day, this is mainly free time with a good intention from all of us that have been involved for this and towards the same goal for the past more than 2 years. And this is all worked upon just because we want to help the clinical engineering community. So if any of you has a good intention or a good project or a good idea that this database may serve as a good basis, it would be very, very nice to hear what you have to say, and also for your ideas to flow to Elliot's direction, because I think that he might be the best person to talk to. We've heard multiple ideas about artificial intelligence. So what if we can map out, let's say, the keywords behind this trends? There are numerous projects that can be handled or created behind this. So we expect for this to serve as a basis project for other entrepreneurs, for our other innovators, and as well that it can be useful for future research projects. So thank you very much, and back to you, Rosana. Thank you.